etc. So a lot of functionality that we just don't have time to demo today that is built into the product. In terms of, we've got a few other questions on the line, although we're running low on questions, so I think hopefully we've exhausted all the questions that that you've got. It's on the top of the view above this on the drop-down menu. In the drop-down menu, we're going to click plug-in Zoho Writer, which we should probably rename to just Edit. Would be a little more self-explanatory.
Yeah, and so for those of you who are watching, what I did is I created an incoming folder, and I uploaded a file from a link that you could send to anyone. So if I go here, I just uploaded that document from here, and then I got it here, and now I can edit test received.
So stop here, Derek. This is pretty key, actually. The fact that we're editing content in the cloud. So if we remember all the way an hour ago when we talked about the difference between the online backup and online storage, you would never do this with an online backup tool. The last thing we want to do is for people to be able to go back and edit version histories, right? We want that all safe and separated so that we can always roll back to different points in time. Whereas editing a document in the cloud is at the very heart of what we're going to do with Collaborate. So when Derek saves that content, that's now saved to his version stream in the cloud, and everything else we've seen applies. We've now got a new version. And that is actually a pretty good point, I think, to end the presentation on. Thanks, everyone, for your time. If there are other questions that we can answer now around pricing, sales, marketing, or the product, we'd love to. Otherwise, the best thing you can do is call in and get your own instance. And that number is free call 877-896-3611. You can also call in and talk to, for those of you who are used to working with Damon Morris, Head of Account Management, his extension is?
204. Keith, I believe I owed you an extension for you to reach out to Damon regarding contacting some existing partners.
You can also reach out to Derek, who runs the delivery team, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with Derek and his team, or Jeff, but Jeff's just going to push you to one of the partners.
I am here to handle all positive comments. Anything negative, I refer over to Ken.
All right, great. So some other questions. Samuel said, did you miss my question about mobile apps? I did, Samuel. I'm sorry. What was your question? Stone asks, is there a limitation for the size of the file when I upload it? Derek, what's the size limit right now?
Right now there is I believe it's 5 gig limitation, but you'll be able to upload files as large as 10 or 15 gigs.
Particularly when we release the desktop apps, which you should look out for. Thomas wrote, the light just clicked. This online editing allows true collaboration. What happens when 2 users edit at the same time? Thomas, awesome. I think it does as well. This is something you would never do in online backup, right? So editing a doc in the cloud is at the heart of what we're talking about here. Your comment of what happens when 2 users edit something at the same time. In truth, no one ever edits something at the same time. They're going to end up being milliseconds apart, even if there is collision. So you're going to end up with 2 different versions. So it's not a lock-based system like a Subversion or a CVS. Well, a Subversion is actually not a lock-based system, but anyway. What it's going to do is it's going to retain both versions, and a user can then manage that conflict themselves. When we release the desktop client, it'll do a lot of conflict management for you and make recommendations.
Actually, I can send them the guest link to that presentation now.
Thomas writes, stream, Thomas, which is the updates tab at the top. Lewis asks, Collaborate will work with iPad, iPad or BlackBerry. All 3, Lewis, particularly if you're running BlackBerry OS 6. I'm not sure about BlackBerry OS 5. Samuel writes, when are mobile applications going to be available? Are you plan to have an iPad and iPhone apps, or just iPhone app which run on iPad like the SOS backup software? So firstly, Samuel, we're soon going to have a native iPad app for SOS backup. Secondly, we will eventually have native apps for Android, BlackBerry, and iOS, so iPad and iPhone, for Collaborate, but that's going to be in the coming months. That's not something you should hold your breath for right now. What I will say, though, is this. Unlike a backup product where you really need a local client so it can encrypt in a sandbox, right, and then manage large transfers and versioning and compression, etc. because it's dealing with massive amounts of data and frequently changing data sets. You don't need a client for this. So putting that another way, the iPad, using the web-based version of this in a mobile application will be 90% of the same experience as if we had a native client. We will have native clients because it's a little bit more user-friendly for your customers, but you should absolutely be plugging this with a mobile access solution out of the gate. You should be promoting it as something that people can use very easily from their iPad and their iPhone, etc. In other words, you shouldn't let the lack of a native app hold you back, because adding a native app is not going to really add any value. It's a little sexier, to be frank, and that's really all it is. Have we got any other questions that we haven't answered? Just going up the stream.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, one more for Thomas. Can I have an option for a powered by my company? Sure, the co-branding and branding has always been an option with us. We're really indifferent as to which way you want to go about it. It's a business decision that you can make. If you're more comfortable, then that's fine. But for all of our white label partners, we will be setting up a unique domain for the account. And we'll be purchasing it on your behalf to make the wildcard SSL that much faster, which we don't need to get into. But sure, if you want to brand it, however you want to brand it is fine with us. It's the same process as what you went through for the rebranded software project. So we'll do some mock-ups, make sure you like it, and then move forward.
Right. So I want to move toward the end of the presentation. I've got one request, and that is this. Can you all answer, those of you who are still participating, and thank you for participating, it makes these much better for everyone. Can you answer this question? Where are you on a spectrum of, I want this right now, all the way to, I don't want this ever at all? Are you, I need more information, or are you, where's my account, I'm calling right now, or are you not interested? If you could just give us a sense of, what are you sharing there, Derek?
I was just going to share the presentation with everyone.
Oh no, we'll send that out via the webinar later. Right, so we've got some comments coming in. I'm very interested. I sent an email to Damon. Clients are waiting on it. So right now, we've got not interested until later. We've got definitely interested. Anticipate future need more info. I'll be talking to customers in the next few days. Sounds like a great opportunity. I definitely like it. Calling right after lunch.
That's the best idea I've heard yet.
He must be here on the West Coast. It is lunchtime. All right, we must have a bunch of shy resells on the line. What does everybody else think? We've got we've got a little attention meter. It's quite cool. The GoToWebinar shows how many people are actually listening and watching. And in response to this question, attention spiked. So I know you're listening. Tell us what you think. We really do want as much feedback as possible. Kevin says, anticipate some interest. Not sure how big it will be. We've got very interested, more info needed.
Yeah, and to this point, it's call in, get your free account, and it's really amazing how quickly this becomes spread amongst not only you and your company, but other people you work with. Again, we've only introduced Collaborate to this whole office about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it's already become such a basic part of how we manage processes, how we manage projects, and collaborate on these different things that it's hard to think that we did it any other way before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can remember back to when you first adopted Facebook or LinkedIn and how addictive it became. This is a very addictive application. We've got some more questions. Thomas asked, is that free account company level or reseller level? Derek?
It's a company level.
Company level. If you want demos of the reseller level, set that up with Derek at the moment. Partner Specialists will give you all the information on how do you get your company accounts, though. We had some other questions in the stream. Can we expand it so we can see some more? Okay, great. All right. Tremendous. All right, well, thank you, everybody. We're available for comments. You can call in and ask to talk to any of us. So Derek and his partner team are standing by, Damon and his account managers, Jeff and his partner team, and feel free to email or even call in and ask to talk to me. So really want to thank you for your time this morning. We'll be sending out a follow-up email with a link to the video of the webinar.